A divine truth is coming to light, and it's one you were meant to hear. There's a sacred truth that is finally being unveiled, a message that the universe through divine timing has waited to deliver. This message is not random, it's not coincidental, it's intentional, and it's for you. You are being called to awaken, not just to a vague spiritual idea, but to something deeply personal, something that concerns people very close to you, something that has quietly lingered in the shadows of your life, hidden behind smiles and veiled by false intentions. There are two women connected to your journey, women who once stood close to you in trust and familiarity, perhaps even in friendship. But beneath the surface of that connection lies a secret built on insecurity, envy, and the pain of their own unhealed wounds. These women have done something behind your back, and they are terrified, not only of the consequences, but of the truth reaching your ears. What they did was rooted not in hate, but in deep fear. Fear triggered by your light, your beauty, your presence. You have something they couldn't ignore, an energy that speaks before you do, a radiance that enters the room even when you're silent. You carry something divine, and it unsettled them. Chapter 1: The Root of Jealousy. How your light became their shadow. From the outside, people may assume it's just about your looks, but it goes far deeper than that. These women were disturbed not just by the physical beauty you carry, but by something much more intangible: your power, the kind of power that comes from within. A God-given confidence, a sacred presence. A light they could not replicate no matter how hard they tried. When you entered a room, you didn't just draw attention, you shifted energy. People noticed. And where others admired, these two women grew resentful. Instead of celebrating your strength, they began to compete with it. Instead of supporting your shine, they feared it would overshadow their own. And so began the slow corrosion of their character, a descent into whispers, jealousy, and schemes fueled by insecurity. You became the mirror they couldn't stand to look into, not because of your flaws, but because of what your presence revealed about their own. Chapter 2: The Acts of Betrayal. What they did in the shadows. It started subtly, as it often does. Small comments masked as jokes, shifts in energy, avoided eye contact, a coolness in their tone. Then came the gossip, the lies told in private corners, the stories twisted just enough to taint your name in the eyes of others. You may have sensed it, a change in how others treated you, a vibe, a heaviness. That wasn't your imagination. It was the result of seeds they planted. They weaponized their words, hoping to chip away at your character, hoping that if they couldn't match your light, they could dim it. But what they didn't realize is that your light wasn't made by man. It was gifted by God. And no matter how much they schemed, no matter how many people they tried to turn against you, the divine truth always finds a way to rise. But they didn't stop at words. In ways both direct and disguised, they tried to interfere with your path. They made efforts to sabotage your success, to complicate your relationships, delay your progress, and block opportunities that were never meant for them in the first place. Their jealousy drove them to act out of desperation. And yet, you endured. You kept going. Maybe you didn't understand it all then, but your soul did. Your faith did. Chapter 3: The Weight of Their Guilt. Why they fear the truth now. You may not know this, but their conscience has already begun unraveling. Guilt is a slow poison, and it's been seeping into their minds like water through cracks. They are haunted by their actions, not only because they know they were wrong, but because the presence of your grace reminds them of the darkness within themselves. They don't fear you because you're angry. They fear you because you're righteous. They fear you because they know God stands with you. Every time they see you smiling despite it all, walking in peace, thriving against the odds, it convicts them. Their fear now isn't just about you finding out. It's about what happens when you do. How will you respond? Will you lash out? Will you confront them? What they don't yet understand is that your strength isn't in retaliation. It's in your restraint. It's in your grace. It's in your connection to something far greater. They are afraid too of divine judgment deep down. They know that nothing escapes God's eyes. The lies, the slander, the betrayal, it's all seen. The Bible reminds us, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Galatians 6:7. They know they're reaping. They know that time is running out, and that's why the truth is rising. Chapter 4, the inevitable confession, and how it will shift everything. A moment is coming, closer than you think, where the truth will surface. It may come in an unexpected way, through a word slipped accidentally, through someone else speaking up, or maybe from their own lips, unable to carry the weight of silence any longer. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And when it does come, you will be ready. Because your spirit has already begun preparing for it. You've already been healing even before you had all the answers. You've already started walking in your victory even while betrayal still lingered behind the scenes. And soon all will be brought into the light. Chapter 5. When the truth comes, so does healing. You weren't meant to break, you were meant to awaken. When the confession comes, when the truth finally escapes their lips or reaches your ears, it won't just bring clarity, it will bring release. You've likely felt the weight of something heavy lingering in your life, a tension that you couldn't quite name, an energy that followed you into rooms, into relationships, into moments that should have brought joy, but instead carried an undertone of unease. That weight wasn't yours. It was the burden of their guilt, their actions, their betrayal, spiritually tied to you because they refused to face it. But now the cord is fraying, the spiritual connection they formed through deceit is breaking. Because the truth always demands to be known, and healing cannot begin until the wound is exposed. This coming revelation will sting even when you've suspected it, even when your spirit has whispered truths you didn't want to hear. It will still hurt, but not because you're weak. It will hurt because you loved, you trusted. You showed up with a pure heart, and they mishandled that. But hear this loud and clear. The truth will not break you, it will free you. And what you do with that freedom, that's where your true power lies. Chapter 6. The divine response. You are rising higher than the harm they cause. God has been with you through all of it, through the confusion, the whispers, the doubts, the questions, through the lonely nights where you wondered what things felt off, even when no one else seemed to notice. God saw what you couldn't. He heard the conversations spoken behind closed doors. He witnessed the moments where you almost gave up, but didn't. And now he is exalting you. Now he is preparing a table for you in the presence of those who tried to dismantle your peace. This is your elevation season. But it's not about revenge, it's about revelation. It's about understanding that the betrayal did not weaken your purpose. It activated it. It forced you to look within, to grow deeper in faith and to learn discernment. and now it's moving you closer to your divine assignment. Forgiveness will be your final act of power, not because they deserve it, but because you do. Because you deserve peace. You deserve to move forward with unshakable clarity and grace. Conclusion: the truth has come, but you've already won. Let this message serve as confirmation. You were never the problem. You were simply the light that revealed their shadows. The two women who allowed jealousy and fear to guide their actions are now being confronted with the spiritual consequences of their betrayal. And soon they will have no choice but to speak, to confess, to acknowledge the truth they once buried. You, on the other hand, are being called to rise above, to walk forward not with vengeance, but with vision, to embrace your divine identity, to forgive when it's time, not for them, but to fully release yourself into the next level of peace, purpose, and power. You were chosen, you were covered, you are protected, and nothing, no betrayal, no rumor, no sabotage can stop what God has destined for you. When the truth comes, stand tall, because while they tried to break you, they only revealed the strength you never knew you had. Your victory is already written. Your breakthrough is already unfolding. And your story, it's only just beginning. If this spoke to your spirit, please take a moment to like this message. It lets the universe and the angels watching over you know you're receiving it with an open heart. If you're walking a path of healing, faith, and truth, consider subscribing and turning on notifications, because more divine messages are coming and they're meant to guide you every step of the way. And if you know someone who needs this confirmation, share it with them. You never know who's waiting for a word that will set their spirit free. Until next time, stay strong, stay faithful, and never forget what's meant for you cannot be stolen. You are divinely protected. You are rising and you are not alone. Amen.